So, tell me about yourself. This is the most common interview opener and generally the most nerve-wracking, right? Today, guys, I'm going to show you how to answer this question confidently and professionally. Because as you know, how you answer this particular question tends to set the tone for the rest of the interview. When you nail this first question, the confidence that you gain actually allows for you to continue just nailing the questions thereafter, right? But when you are fumbling in the opener, oh boy, it becomes a very, very long interview. So let's dive into what are the best ways for you to learn how to answer this question confidently and professionally. Firstly, I think it's so important that you actually understand why we are asking the question, right? Interviewers, when they ask this, guys, they don't want your whole life story from when you were born, which year, how many siblings you have, your parents, where you were raised, the fondest childhood memory. No. We are asking this because we, firstly, have only met you on paper. The only thing we've seen about you is your CV. And now we're trying to understand what is the personality behind this particular CV. We love the CV. We love what you've written. But now that you're in front of us, tell us about yourself, right? And in this, one of the big things that we look at is how you speak, how you present yourself, consistency between what you're saying and the CV, and so many other things, right? So understanding why we are asking it should help you not feel too nervous around what do I tackle first. And I'm going to go through how you can go about doing that. But like I said, we don't want your life story. We want a concise summary of your academic background, your career interests, and why you believe you're a good fit for the organization, right? So it's an introduction, and we're wanting to see your personality. So don't be too stiff. Don't be too formal. Don't try and think, what are they thinking as they're looking at me? I can't read their face. Don't overanalyze it. Just introduce yourself. Let's go through some other tips that are going to help you do this confidently. So one of the things that I typically advise, right, is using this particular framework. I like it. I feel like it works so well in terms of just understanding where someone is coming from, what they're doing now, and where they're going, right? So this framework that I've kind of coined and used and advised on is using the past, present, future. A simple framework that allows for you to dig into your mind and understand, okay, what am I going to start telling them? I'm going to start telling them something that's happening presently. Am I going to tell them where it is I want to go? Am I going to tell them a bit about my background? This is where it's going to help you make it into a story that flows, right? Instead of randomly giving them information. So past, present, future, I always say, start with your present, right? Start with what you're doing now, right? Currently. This is what I'm doing. This is the university that I'm at. This is what I'm studying. So you need to be able to break down your current. So as soon as someone says, tell me about yourself, thank you so much for this opportunity. As you know, my name is Bohlale, and currently I am this student, this university, and these are my interests, right? So this is where you break down what you are currently doing. Now, the beauty in being able to start with present is that once you've phrased where you currently are, this is your opportunity to go a little bit into the past and help people understand why you are there. Now, you've said you're an LLB student, say for instance, right? I'm an LLB student at UCT, currently, doing ABCD, and these are some of my extracurriculars as well. Why did you choose law? What led you to choosing law? This is where you start going into past, right? So past is about really learning to unpack the why behind what you are doing. And learning to unpack, why did I study this particular course? What led me to do it? What are my passions or interests that are strongly aligned to doing this particular course? That's the past aspect that you speak to, right? So even if it's a story about growing up, these are the things that I experienced as a child. And because of these things, that's what led me to being passionate about the law. That's what led me to being passionate about being a marketer. That's what led me to being passionate about being someone that's within finance, right? Or it could be something as simple as growing up, I was really good with numbers. I naturally loved doing them. In high school, that was one of the things that I was really great at. I was top of the class when it came to stats or math or whatever. And so, doing this particular course in finance, investments, whatever the case may be, is an extension of who I actually am and what I love to do. So it doesn't have to sound like a serious answer, but it's also an opportunity for us to get to know a little bit more about your motivation for doing what you're doing. That covers past. Guys, when you finish off answering, tell me about yourself, you always finish in the future. And what do I mean by this? When you are future focused in your response, now you're talking about what your career goals are. Now you're talking about why it is you're sitting right there in front of them, right? Why this role? Why this firm? Why these things the next step for me? So it's important that, as you finish off, you are explaining to them that this is what I studied, this is why I studied it. And because this is why I studied it, this is what I hope to do with my career. This is where I'm going. This is why I'm sitting here at this particular organization today, because this is how it fits into my career goals. So it's important that as you are phrasing present, past, future, you're speaking to things you're interested in. You're highlighting some of your key strengths. You're highlighting some of your skill sets, right? So you're not just giving them a story, but in that you are selling yourself, in that you are positioning who you are. So use the simple framework, guys, because it's going to help you order your thoughts and it's going to allow for you to tell a story as you answer this critical question. And I know a lot of you struggle to prepare for interviews, guys. I know that a lot of you just get overtaken by interview nerves. You don't know how to answer specific questions. You don't know how to structure your answers. The career playbook that we have curated as Get Corporate Ready gives you word for word frameworks and practice questions that you can actually use ahead of your interview. Because as we all know, stepping into a room, an interview room with confidence really gives you so much more leverage, right? So learning how to answer questions, what are the top questions, what are we looking for? This is all in the career playbook. It's designed to help you walk into every interview feeling prepared, feeling confident. So guys, make sure that you're joining the Get Corporate Ready community and getting your very own copy of the online career playbook. And you'll get this by using the link in the description below. Now that you know the simple framework that you can use to answer this very important question, tell me about yourself, I always like to advise that keeping it short and professional is typically the best way to go, right? And the best way that you are able to do this, guys, is by practicing it until it sounds natural. Don't be those people that have written it down and before the interview, you pacing up and down, reading. No. You're not going to regurgitate it. You're learning it so that you understand what you need to speak about and why, right? So keeping it short is going to help get to the point, and it's going to help the interviewers really get a better sense of who you are. So aim for at least 1.5 minutes minimum, but no more than 5 minutes of speaking about yourself. 5 minutes actually is quite long, but aim for at least 90 seconds of speaking about yourself. But if you have added in all those other aspects I spoke to you about, your strengths, your skill sets, your interests, a little bit about your hobbies, right? That could take you very easily into a 3 or 4 minute introduction. But once it starts getting longer than that, it's too long, right? So make sure that you're practicing it. And as you practice in front of the mirror, time yourself so that you know whether you're saying too much or too little. And lastly, always bring energy. Guys, it doesn't matter what you're interviewing for, which role. It's so important that you come there and you're ready to be engaging, right? Employers want someone who is engaged, someone who's confident. Smile as you are answering questions, right? Imagine I was creating this video for you and I was just sitting and speaking in a monotone voice like this. And guys, the third point is that you need to do this. You need to, right? So equally in the same way, when you go for an interview, smile, maintain eye contact, project your voice. Make sure you come across as someone that's enthusiastic and not overly so, but in a professional manner. Make sure that as you leave the room, people remember you for that little bit of time that you've spent with them. So guys, I really hope that has been helpful in helping you unpack the opener of all interviews, right? Practice it, like I said. Make sure that you're getting it down to less than 5 minutes. Make sure that what you are saying is relevant. Make sure that it's impactful. And like I said, if you're still feeling nervous about it, jump into the Career Playbook. It will give you more frameworks, it will give you more interview examples, and it's packed with ready-to-use scripts and exercises, guys. So make sure that you are jumping into that using the link below, because that's what's going to help you stand out in every interview that you go to.